Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are all safe and well during these trying times. I am the Curious Owlbear, back with another set of random encounters that don't suck. As the winter holidays are fast approaching, I'm sure that many of us will be running some in-game festivals. So, I've compiled a list of some carnival games and competitions that your players can participate in. Let's dive in. The adventuring party has decided to attend the winter festival in a major city. Upon arriving, they immediately notice that the familiar streets are much more crowded than usual. Farmers, peasants, merchants, and traders have all traveled to the city to take part in the festivities. Some of these people have erected small booths with games or challenges. The first game that the party finds is a simple one. Several glass vials stand upright in a wooden crate, and the purveyor of the booth offers the adventurers 3 metal rings. These rings are meant to be tossed, such that the ring falls around one of the glass vials. Unfortunately, the glass vials are fairly bouncy, and the small metal rings will almost always be deflected away from the vials. Of course, each set of 3 attempts will cost the group a small amount of silver, and the prize offered is not worth nearly as much as the cost of repeatedly attempting the game. The adventuring party continues through the festival until another booth catches their eye. This booth has another classic carnival game, the ball under the cup trick. Customers are invited to pay the fee to play the game, and then try to follow the cup with the ball under it, while the purveyor of the booth quickly shifts the cups around to deceive the customer. If the customer correctly guesses where the ball is, then the booth owner provides the winner with a small trinket that relates to the festival. I recommend using a perception or insight check to determine whether your players are able to follow the ball. The next point of interest is actually a small tent, about 5 feet in diameter, where an older human woman sits in front of a crystal ball. The signage in front of the tent identifies her as a fortune teller. It's up to you as the DM to decide exactly how you want to handle the fortune teller, but in my game, I decided to go with the classic fortune teller. She used an insight check to learn a little bit about the characters from their appearance, then utilized this information to give fairly vague readings. This can also be a great time for you to incorporate some of the deities in your world, as the fortune teller may get her abilities from her patron deity. The adventurers move on into the city and soon come upon a small competition. Several peasants and lower-ranking members of the city have gathered together to have a pie baking competition. The pies are displayed on a long table, as a few judges inspect them and make notes on their clipboards. Eventually, a winner is determined, and the bakers are able to sell their pies to the public. The party soon stumbles upon another competition. Several burly individuals take turns submerging in an icy bath. They hold their breath as long as possible, and timers keep track of each contestant's score. If the players join in, they'll find that they are required to make a Constitution saving throw for each minute they spend in the bath. If they fail the saving throw, then they are forced to emerge. Eventually, another winner is declared, and they are offered the prize of free drinks for the night at a nearby tavern. As the adventurers continue through the festival, they come upon a small wooden stage where there is a colorful gathering. Several people wearing incredibly gaudy and colorful clothing are prepping for a fashion show. Some of the competitors even have animal companions as part of their costume. This is a unique encounter which will give your players a chance to experience some of the cutting-edge culture within your world. Feel free to include some designers, painters, and other fashion divas with this encounter. The adventuring party comes upon another booth with an axe-throwing game. 2 large poles stand at the opposite end of the range, each equipped with 3 targets that spin on a small wheel. The booth's purveyors continuously spin the targets at a constant rate, though they are able to increase the speed for a more difficult challenge. The goal of this game is to throw 3 successful axes, one into each target. Since the contestant may not hit the same target twice, each subsequent throw will be more difficult than the last. This game has a small fee to make an attempt, as well as a small cash prize to anyone who can successfully land 3 hand axes in the targets. The party continues their festive activities, and later on in the day, they wander past the stage where the fashion show took place. There is a new competition in full swing, as bards take turn on stage performing their best song for the crowd. The crowd cheers in response, and the host of the competition gives each singer a score based on the level of applause received. Almost every instrument imaginable is present in the competition, with everything from one-man bands to string quartets. If you have the confidence, I recommend learning a few different songs that you can perform for your players. If you don't want to go that route, you can easily achieve a similar effect by reading poetry from different authors or regions. The group wanders past another booth that has a small carnival game. The purveyor presents a lock and a blindfold to anyone who wishes to take part. They exclaim that this dwarven lock is incredibly difficult to break, even for the most experienced adventurer. But this game becomes even more difficult as the blindfold is introduced. Any of your players may take part in the game as they attempt to pick the lock while blindfolded. If you have any rogues that hit extremely high numbers on their lockpicking attempts, this will be your moment to give them a thorough challenge. After a long day at the festival, the group finds their way to one of the main events, a rodeo. The group is welcome to watch the contestants from the crowd as they enjoy refreshments, or they can actually participate in the event. Many bulls have been brought in from far-off lands, and each has a different difficulty associated with it. Your players who wish to compete may make an athletics, acrobatics, or animal handling check in order to stay on their bull for the minimum of 8 seconds. The competition continues until the rodeo runs out of fresh bulls, or until one competitor has not been tossed from their mount. And that brings us to the end of today's festival encounters. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Join the Discord server at the link in the description of this video to discuss everything 5th edition. Until next time, be well, be excellent to one another, and stay curious, adventurers.